I've got a cup of coffee in my hand and a song in my heart. We're going to talk about writing like Taylor Swift. Calm down, Kyle. Lots of people love Taylor. Anyway, to continue that thought, an article came out, or a clickbaity headline that said, Taylor Swift uses the same chord progression in over 20 of her songs. And I'm like, yeah. Every blues player, every bluegrass player was like, oh, there's a repeating pattern? Never knew that. I found the story also amusing in the context of what we've learned in the earlier lessons, where we focused on this paradigm of 3 chords and a cloud of dust. Well, why those 3 chords? The 1, 4, 5 out of any key? Because it's super popular and it has been the basis thousands of songs. So for people to get hung up on Taylor Swift using the same chord progressions in various songs, was kind of curious to dig into what was behind that, or rather to dig into the various chord progressions that she has used. Also, when I think about if you've got a catalog as extensive as someone like Taylor Swift, you're probably going to see some of the same chord progressions show up. I've written hundreds of songs, and I know the 1, 4, 5 shows up a lot, but I try to use lots of variations to sort of stretch my writing, but I have no idea where that stuff has landed. And I wouldn't waste a minute trying to assess what patterns might have emerged in my own writing. But it's interesting, I guess, if you're curious about what Taylor Swift has done. Let's talk about it. So there's 3 chord progression patterns that Taylor has used the most. Now, just because you have a chord progression, as you dig into songwriting, that's only one piece of it, right? Because they're obviously the words, the meter, the tempo, stops, the production. Is it fast? Is it slow? There are so many variables that go into songwriting. But as we've learned here, you start with a melody and you can build a chord progression from that. But let's start off with the one that is the 3rd most frequent in Taylor's catalog. Now, I'm going to play each of these. I'm not playing any Taylor Swift songs, so get that right out of your head. Not that I wouldn't, but we're just not going to. Today, we're going to talk about the chord progressions. Each of these are 4 chord progressions. So we're going to start with the one that is the 3rd most popular, and even though Taylor might have played these in various keys, I'm going to show them all in the key of A, just so we can do a side-by-side comparison of the content of them later. A. So this is the 3rd most popular chord progression, and it goes in the key of A, 1, 6, 4, 5. So in order, it's A, F sharp, D, E. Let's do that again. That's fun. Now, let's do the chord progression that appears the 2nd most times. This is the 1, 5, 2, 4 chord progression. Again, in the key of A, in order. Yeah, and then the chord progression that appears most frequently is 1, 5, 6, 4. 1, 5, 6, 4. Now let's take a look and see how each of these compare. So in this image, we can see that all of these chord progressions always start on the 1. It's then the variability is where they go from there. They always start over again on the 1. But then I thought it is curious when you start to think about, okay, what do each of these chord progressions have in common? It's normally that they also include the 4 and 5 of the key. So here we are back again at the majority of the chord progression leans on the classic 1, 4, 5. The variability comes in where she has chosen to add a 4th chord, just like we talked in the last episode. Where would you add a 4th chord to add some variability to that song? I guess ta-da is in order. Now, surely have everything you need to write songs just like Taylor Swift. Can billions of downloads be far away? I don't think so. Till next time on Songwriting 101.